Well, I hope I don't mess this one up. Hey guys, welcome back to WRC. Today we're going to do some tricks with our 110 scale Traxxas Haas monster truck. Now you'll be able to do a lot of these tricks with other monster trucks, but this is the one we're using today. Some of the tricks that we're going to show is the bunny hop, which the Haas is particularly good at. We're going to show some long jumps, we're going to show some back flips, we're going to show some front flips, so it should be a lot of fun. Today we're using a 16-inch tall jump. It's 16 inches tall, 32 inches long, has a 45-degree launch angle, and we're going to be landing on the downhill approach. So let's do it. Alright guys, so let's first talk about the bunny hop. Let's show that one. If you're familiar with an ollie, like for example on a skateboard, similar concept here. What we're going to do is we're going to do a wheelie, and once we get up and the wheelie bar hits the ground, then we're going to apply the brakes, which is going to bring the front end down. Now it does require a good amount of throttle control though on the Haas. With this motor, it has so much power that if you go full throttle, it'll just flip completely upside down on its roof. So we can't go full throttle, but we got to give it enough to get up, hit that wheelie bar, hit the brakes. Something else important, especially on this truck because it's notorious for breaking drive shafts, is when you hit the brakes, you'll apply full brakes, but then make sure you let off the brake right away, because when this truck lands, you don't want to be on the brakes or on the throttle. Doing either of those could cause it to break a drive shaft. So let's see if we can demonstrate a few of those. So we're going to give it throttle to do a wheelie. When it hits that wheelie bar, apply the brakes. But you see how it's rolling? Because as soon as I hit the full brake, I let off the brake so that when it landed, it wouldn't have any pressure on the drive shafts. All right, let's try and bunny hop this little board. It may take a couple tries to get it. Almost. One more try. There we go. All right, now let's move on to some long jumps. So let's just first talk about a few things with jumps before we get too much distance here. You want to land a standard jump as parallel to the ground as possible. The way you do that is by using your throttle in the air. If you need the nose to come up, you give it throttle, you give it some gas. If you need the nose to go down, you apply the brakes. With any of these inputs, depending on the truck that you have, you rarely would want to give it full throttle or full brake, unless you're purposely trying to do a front flip or a back flip. So just to demonstrate, we'll take off the ramp here. We'll make sure that the truck is fairly parallel to the ground when it lands. And same thing as we were saying with the bunny hop, you don't want to land on throttle or on the brake, as again, you could have an opportunity to damage something, strip out a gear, break a drive shaft, and so forth. Not the best landing. Let's try that again. So I don't know if you can hear the motor or not, but when right before it hits the ground, you'll hear that I'm letting off the throttle so that there's no throttle input. See if we can hit one straight here. As you can see, this Traxxas Haas is pretty durable. We've got another video out there talking about how to make a bulletproof Traxxas Haas. I rarely, if ever, break anything anymore, so you may want to check that video out so you can see how you can make yours fairly indestructible as well. Let's get a couple more and then we'll look at some back flips and some front flips. So again, when you're in the air, we're not talking about a whole lot of throttle controls. Just whatever it takes to get it fairly parallel to the ground before you land. All right, now let's talk about doing a backflip. So a backflip is going to be basically full throttle once you're in the air off the ramp. Again, what's crucial is throttle control, because you want to be sure to let off the throttle once the truck is fairly parallel with the ground. And again, if you give it too much brake or too much throttle, you may have to apply a little bit of brake to bring it back to parallel, but not full brake. So let's give it a try here. We'll go get that and be right back. All right, let's do a few more back flips. We're struggling on the landing a little bit. There we go. I don't know if you could hear it there, but on that last jump, I hit the brakes a little too much, and the nose was going to nose down, so I had to give it a little more throttle right before it landed. Let's try another trick this time. It's almost a back flip, but we're not going to flip all the way over. We're going to show how to use throttle control in the air. So when we get about upside down, I'm going to apply the brake and bring the front end back down. So it'll be about a half back flip and then back to level. See if we can get a little cleaner landing here. That really shows you how the throttle control works in the air. When it's about upside down, then I'm applying brake, which is bringing the nose back down. All right, next let's talk about a front flip. So for a front flip, what we're going to do is leave the ramp. We're going to apply brakes, but an important part of the front flip is applying throttle again once you've made the rotation. Applying throttle again in the air is what will pull the truck back forward. The weight of those tires spinning will get you back in line. If you just do a front flip, or you just take off the ramp, hit the brakes, and don't do any more throttle input, the truck's just going to spin out of control. So we'll see if we can get this. The front flip's a little harder than the back flip, but we'll show you how to do that. Once we leave the ramp and we're in the air, we'll apply the brakes and then listen to the motor. We'll apply throttle again to get it straightened back out before we land. All right, let's try it again. See if we can land this one a little better. We'll get a clean one here. Let's try it again. There we go. So just listen. We'll do it a few more times, but listen when we're in the air. Once it makes the rotation, you'll hear that we're applying throttle again to bring the truck back straight. All right, let's try just a couple more, see if we can land them clean. Then we'll see if we can get some big air, and then I'm gonna go to another one of my favorite jump locations here. There we go. Go. Almost landed it. All right, let's see what kind of distance we can get with this thing. With this being a downhill slope, and we got quite a run up to it, we can get some pretty good speed. All right, guys, one more. Nice. Let's go to another spot. So guys, this is a little spot I like to jump on the back patio. That's a little over 4 feet raise on those steps. I gotta hit this jump with some pretty good speed. All right, let's give it another shot. All right, guys, this trick's gonna be a little bit difficult because we already have to hit this ramp with some pretty good speed, but we're gonna see if we can do a backflip and land it up in the grass. Nice. That was kind of fun. Let's see if we can do it again. All right, here we go again. Nice, 2 in a row. All right, guys, we're gonna try one more from this location. We're gonna try and do a full send. All right, guys, just one last thing I wanted to talk about, and that's doing a wheelie. With this truck in specific, it has the 540 XL brushless motor. It's the same motor that's in the Traxxas Max, which is of course a bigger truck. Although the Traxxas Max is running a 4S, this truck's running on 3S. But my point in saying that is that this truck actually has enough power, enough torque, that if you give it full throttle, it'll flip upside down onto its roof. It won't do a freestanding backflip, unless you're on a perfect uphill incline, you might be able to. But in most cases, it won't. You don't want to give it full throttle, or it'll do that. You don't want to pump the throttle, full throttle nothing, full throttle nothing. It's all about throttle control to be able to ride a sustained wheelie. So let's see if we can demonstrate that here a few times. Well, there you go. That's what happens if you give it too much throttle. It'll flip upside down on its roof. Let's try it again. So not quite that much. And if you get real good at this, you can usually ride these for quite some distance, 50 to 100 yards, if you get your throttle control down. I let off a little too much on that one. Alright guys, well that's all we have for today with our tricks and the tips on how to do them. If there's anything else you'd like to see us demonstrate, please leave a comment. We certainly appreciate you watching the video. If you found it enjoyable, please give us a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel. If you like our content, please consider subscribing. And that's how we RC.